Hello, and welcome to the Online Creators Association's Thursday night stream. God, I hate this format so much. Uh, we have a guest with us tonight. This is Astrid. Astrid is Odd Pride on TikTok, and I'm visiting him. And the plan was for me to leave like 2 hours ago so that I could get home in time for this. But then I was like, hey, want to do it here? And you can join the stream? And he said, yeah. So we have a guest. Because of the many technical difficulties we had between cooking is a technology. So yeah, having dinner and then having about 15 minutes to figure out how to set up streaming from a new location within the 15 minutes before the stream starts. I don't have a topic tonight, but we've got 5 people here, including one new person who is very interesting. So I feel like we're going to be able to handle it.
There's also always I have backup cards should we need them.
Oh, and we have a new person who hasn't answered questions about death.
Oh my god!
Well, I wasn't even talking about that. That's not the cards I have, but I can fish those out if we want to talk death again.
Oh, that movie mashup game where like it doesn't really make sense, but it makes sense once you have somebody explain it.
I was gonna ask if we finally lifted the moratorium on talking about death, because last time we did it, everyone got really sad.
Well, part of the issue is we have actually gone through the entire deck.
Listen, we know what we like and we know what we're about, okay?
I'm gonna have to start like curating my own deck of new death topics.
I also didn't go live on TikTok. I'm also doing super well this evening. Oh no. Get out of here.
Yeah, I was gonna say
a week.
So ironically, considering what I do for a living, I am the absolute worst with technology. I was thinking it would be fun to stream this to my TikTok as well. If you are streaming to TikTok, can you like send me an invite to join your live stream? Because then there will be multiple of us on camera and not just me with no context at all.
I think that's a really good idea, but also turn your phone volume all the way down so that we don't get an echo.
Yeah. Hang on. Shut up, TikTok.
So yeah, just join Cecilia's live and then send a guest request.
I'm still here. I just have to grab my other thing real quick.
Absolutely wonderful, riveting content in this moment. We desperately trying to figure out how I need
also
this.
love the shadow puppet of Max or Sadie.
Yeah.
I think it's Max.
I also couldn't find my smaller lights. That light over there is not plugged in. Like my lamp is not plugged in. Sir.
Yeah, it's the big late small dog show now. Like, and that's totally fine. I can deal with this.
It's giving that moment in like a black and white horror movie where the monster is just a shadow over the protagonist.
Yeah. Honey, can you come back? Okay, there we go. Invite. Okay. String the volume all the way down. Oh no. We've done it.
You can turn your camera on with the multi-guest settings.
Hello, TikTok. I'm not here.
Multi-guest.
And neither is Odd Pride. We're both over on twitch.tv/official TOCA. Did I put the backdrop up? Absolutely not, because this is the kind of evening we're having.
We're doing it live.
We're doing great. We're doing so good.
Yay! So it'd be better if I had some kind of bench thing so we could sit closer together. The portrait mode is not being kind to both of our faces at the same time.
Cecilia, you could also change the live layout on TikTok so that
would you ask me?
Why
would you ask me to have to know how to do anything?
All these features that nobody asked for. Look at this. All of a sudden, it's coming in useful. Who would have thunk?
Okay. That'll keep, at the very least. It will keep. It will not get worse.
Well, that's the goal. If it doesn't get worse, I feel like we're doing okay.
I can deal with basically any situation as long as it's not rapidly deteriorating.
Oh, unfortunately, you're at the wrong crowd for that.
I'm fine.
Rapid deterioration is our default setting.
Guys,
Yay!
if you want a not insane echo, might I recommend you go over to twitch.tv/official TOCA because I am not fixing shit. Love you. Bye. Now commences the portion of the evening where I completely ignore TikTok the entire time.
Sorry, the echo is not actually that bad. It's like close enough to your actual voice that it just sounds like a loudspeaker on a sports stadium.
Honestly, that's kind of the vibe I want to give off.
Or like a race rink.
Yeah.
It's working.
With horses. But the only thing that I know of is they like kind of rolled out a lot of features this week. They broke some stuff too.
Oh yeah,
but then
things
they
have
fixed
been
it too.
very strange on the app. We could actually talk about the app.
Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's lead with
mode
talking
is
about the thing that
awesome.
is our job to talk about.
I guess.
Have you tried clear mode? Does everybody else have clear mode? Am I the only
I
person?
do not have clear mode, and I want clear mode so badly.
What is, hold
Is
up.
clear mode-
What is that?
So
What is-
if you click and press and hold on a video, there's now this
Okay.
option that says clear mode, which I am sorry that I'm bad at this. But when you tap on it, it actually gives you the full screen. So the captions at the
Oh.
bottom are hidden, and then the edge sides are like they're a little bit lighter. Like
I would like that.
where was this 3 years ago? Why wasn't this here the whole time? I love it. For whatever reason, if a person has a GIF on their profile page, it's now square instead of in a circle. I don't know why.
That's exciting.
I keep trying to find somebody who has a GIF because it's like if you don't have a GIF as your
You do.
image,
TOCA
it
does.
does. You do? Oh, TOCA does.
TOCA
Okay, I
does,
will.
technically.
TOCA does, but TOCA's animation icon is white.
You can't tell. But
Okay, listen.
Because we were smart and we were like, oh, let's pick a design style that
Oh.
won't read stupid.
right. I will. Okay, so and again, I don't know who this person is, but this is the screen cap that I took earlier because like
Oh, that's
it's a screen cap, but it's yeah, I know. It's just
Yeah, he
follow
was
so
on
many
the
cosplayers.
Monster stream. I can't remember the name of the game
I love him.
or the name of the stream, but the TOCA TikTok or the TOCA Twitch account hosted a fundraiser live stream, and Sphinx was one of the players.
Yeah.
Mhm. And then they also changed the notification area again too, which is like kind of I'm still on the fence with that. Like I kind of like
Mine's
it.
the
and I
same.
kind of hate it.
I'm
Yes,
glad that we
people
now
are
at least get a
seeing-
preview of our messages or of our comments.
Some people are seeing like a roll back of things. Some people are seeing new things.
Mhm.
The general gist is they're screwing around with notifications again. So if you see things change and if your notification change, it's not anything you're doing wrong. The app is just a little broken right now. So they're rolling out changes. We'll see what it actually means. It could be that I have my fingers crossed that this is them rolling out Pulse. Please roll out Pulse because that's all I care about anymore.
Because this is the other thing I think is interesting too. So like I don't know this person, but I do know Soul Assassin. I follow them. So it shows their picture underneath the comment that's been liked if there's been multiple people.
So
commenting on that too.
I've had that for like 2 weeks now.
Well, why didn't you tell us? Share with
So
the
I didn't realize that it was still rolling out to people because I'm usually the last person to get stuff. But I will say I kind of like it because I've now gone from like, hey, you have 27 notifications and all of them are likes on a comment on a video that you don't care about, to you have one notification and now I don't have to sift through a sea of bullshit. And it makes my life easier. And I no longer have to go back and delete comments just because I'm sick of people liking them.
Yes.
How did that sound on your end or Cecilia's end? I'm not sure, but did it just go away?
Very much loving.
Can I kill the echo?
Yeah.
Hey!
Apparently, the volume control on Apple devices allow you to turn the volume down. They do not allow you to turn it off. You have to go into the control menu to access the volume slider.
Huh.
Fine.
Wouldn't know. Don't have an Apple phone.
I also love that, like, for some reason, this is now like, it's because it's two of us going live at the same time, but now it's like, I see so many people I know in this goddamn live, and it's like, I'm not talking to you guys. Let's see what we're doing. Please go over to twitch.tv/officialtoca. Thank you. I didn't put the background up like I'm supposed to.
Come hang out with us on our Twitch.
I'm a bad streamer. But that's, yeah, in terms of actual TikTok news, in terms of the app itself, it's just a little broken right now. Changes are afoot.
Cecilia, are you also on an iPhone?
What?
Are you also on an iPhone?
Yeah.
Can you go into the menu and turn the volume all the way down?
Why are you asking me to do that? My job on this live stream is to show up and be cute and then leave. Wait, what menu?
I would venture to suggest that this echo is not cute.
I love you enough that I will do this. Wait, is it admin settings?
I think if you just drag, what did you do to get to it?
I swiped down from the top right-hand side.
Yeah.
And in that little menu, I turned the audio all the way down. For some reason, the side button simply did not want to let me turn the volume off.
Okay. Oh no, but I can still hear it like the tiniest bit, even though it's technically telling me it's all the way off. Cool. I love it here.
It's worse now for somehow.
It's a longer delay. What's happening?
Yes.
How is it happening?
I think that we maybe on this end just jump out of the live and give up. Not this live, not the Twitch live, but Cecilia's live.
If you don't want
sure
the
it's not
noise,
making
they
any
should come
noise on
here.
my phone.
If you guys
Right,
don't...
but the fact that
yeah,
both of us are in there means noise is coming out of Cecilia's phone, because if we were not here and the noise was not being picked up from our end, then Cecilia would only be input.
Go to twitch.tv/officialtoca. You can get there from TOCA, like the actual TOCA TikTok page. It's in the link in the bio. Or just go to Twitch and search Official TOCA. That's where we're actually talking. We don't normally have this problem because we don't normally do a dual live. I'm going to unmute this now. Hi.
Hey.
Did that fix everything?
I left the TikTok live.
Does it sound like the echo is gone?
We've given up, goddammit. Okay.
I mean, doing a multi-live while we are streaming on Twitch is something that I have wanted to do, and I keep forgetting why we don't do it, and it's because there are a bunch of technical problems.
Yeah, because TikTok just won't give people their stream keys and allow us to multiple places.
I know you just left, but you can also click on the multi-guest again and then mute yourself like fully through the app.
The problem.
Oh my god, that didn't occur to me.
I think the problem is also.
I'm lagging in real life. I'm sorry.
We don't actually need to figure this out in this moment. We can talk about it after the stream is over, because it has been 15 full minutes of us having technical of one kind or another.
Welcome to the Official TOCA Let's Chat stream. We are just going to do this.
We're doing great.
Suggest topics. We've already talked about TikTok some.
So the chaotic rollout that we're seeing right now, how does it compare to the chaotic rollouts of every other feature on the app ever?
Same.
We now know why the people's analytics keep going like this. So many people have unfortunately had heart attacks.
This is a good reminder for me personally, because I also kind of forgot about this, but like whenever TikTok is rolling new things out, it does tend to slow traffic down, because too much traffic means things might break worse. And my numbers have been all over the place, and it hasn't made any sense. It's just TikTok rolling things out, and it's to be expected. I didn't quite realize things were rolling out or broken until just now. So good reminder for me.
I mean,
I'm okay.
I haven't made a video in over a week, so I haven't really been on the app in over a week. So I have missed out on all of the broken stuff.
That's for the best.
Okay.
I also want to say, before we left the live on TikTok, I did catch that somebody in the chat asked whether there was an orange dress code today. It was orange and gray.
These are the only colors.
I only own black, but like I'm wearing
Orange on camera though.
what is maroon almost orange?
No,
Well, I
Micah.
figured black counts as a shade of gray.
Okay, cool. Then I'm in dress code. We're good.
We're good.
I have a limited color palette. It's basically burgundy and black. That's all I own.
The exception is always Micah. For Micah, will always show up in black, and it's fine. This is actually brown. It's just the light. I won't have good light today. I'm very tired, guys.
Earlier, we were talking about my new favorite way of describing gender presentation, which is boy bird colors and girl bird colors. And I think in this room we have a good mix of boy bird colors and girl bird colors going on.
I kind of love that.
I absolutely love that.
It
And
has nothing to do with human maleness and human
Yeah.
femaleness.
Yeah.
The bird
Yeah.
genders are the bird genders, but we
Yeah.
can borrow them if we want.
Yeah,
Cool,
Astrid
dude, why
asked about this on Instagram a while ago, and I saw the post, and I thought about responding, but I couldn't figure out which one to pick because my answer is C, crow.
Hi, that's me.
I know.
It's actually for me. I guess it's Raven because like I went so far as to get that like physically on me,
Mhm.
so that I'm always Raven bird gender.
How did you describe it? Genderless iridescent?
Yeah,
Yeah.
they're all iridescent, but they're all equally iridescent.
Yeah,
It's perfect.
we love it.
We love it. It's wonderful. All right. Do we want to? Because we did
I
not.
want to do the death cards.
You want to do death cards?
Death cards. Okay, hang on.
Talk
There
about
is it.
Astrid, how do you feel about talking about death?
Ah!
You know, it really depends by the I don't even know what it depends by. It depends.
Context.
Sure.
Micah, would you like to do a basic introduction of what we're about to do rather than just saying death cards?
Okay, yeah, cool.
How
have
existential crisis-y
I
I
have
am on a
this fun
given
little
day.
game called Morbid Curiosity. It's less of a game and more of a like questions that make you discuss morbid topics in relation to death, but like
Okay.
not in a sad way, in like a thinky kind of way. And then sometimes there's just fun, multiple choice factoids. I'm bad at explaining things. My brain's only half on.
You're doing
I mean, you
great.
did a pretty good job.
Okay, I think we're
More
starting
like
from this one.
conversation prompts. Can it get existential? Yeah, Watson is in the room, unfortunately. And
Sometimes you
Promise
get
it's not
really,
more existential than I would have made it anyway.
sometimes you get really stupid jokes about the difference between graveyards and grave meters. It's fine. It's
Fine.
fucking fine.
That is still one of my pinned videos, and I watch it regularly. I'm so proud of what I did to both of your faces.
But you get like fun questions like, would you like to participate in building your own coffin or casket? Why or why not?
okay,
I can
one
see
answer.
myself being into that.
Can
Yeah.
I commit to not that many rounds first?
Yeah,
Yeah.
definitely.
Before
Oh
committing
yeah,
to
no, it's just we just sort of
rounds?
like use them as discussion kickoff.
Yeah, let's do like 2 or 3, and then we'll move on to a different topic.
Okay.
Isn't death. Yeah, would I participate? I think we've done all the cards, haven't we?
We literally have.
Been here for this card before, and the answer is yes, because I love a craft. And I just feel like that's a good place to take that out on.
See, again, I want to point out that while I love the idea of maybe like decorating or designing, I don't want to be involved in the actual build because that would potentially end in just a horror show for everyone because I am not that crafty handy. I can paint. I can like
Participating in like the creation of it. It's just not physical build. Like you don't.
yeah, I just don't want to do like the carpentry aspect because the chances of my body falling out the bottom is like pretty high.
Yeah. It's not the outcome anyone wants out of you.
No.
I guess.
I really miss doing woodwork, so I would absolutely take the opportunity if given it. I would like for there to be supervision. Like, I would like to be working with somebody who knows how to build a coffin, and I would emphatically clarify that if I fail to build a functional coffin, they can use a different one.
I would like to revisit you miss woodwork as in you've done woodwork.
Yeah.
Why are you saying that like I know this?
I built half the shelves in my bedroom.
Really?
Actually, doesn't surprise me.
They're made of 2x4s and nails.
Yeah.
Is that woodwork or is that 2x4s and nails?
Listen, I used a circular saw.
Okay, that's right. That
See,
counts.
it doesn't surprise me just based solely on like sometimes you show us the art progression of certain things that you're doing, and they all are things. It's always things that make me go, yes, this is a human who knows how to like use tools sometimes, which I do not know how to do. That's not a talent I possess. That is not one of the queer gifts that was bestowed upon me. I am useless.
Yeah, no, I did a semester of woodshop in high school. I was not good at it, but I deeply enjoyed it in every regard apart from the extremely gendered nature of the classroom. The thing that I liked most, that I would really love to be able to do a lot more of, and that there's no possible way I could set up in a remotely, like, acceptably clean way in my apartment, is get a lathe.
Mm.
My fiance has a welder.
Nice.
That doesn't answer the coffin question.
I mean,
No.
it can.
But if any of you want to come to Maryland, you can play with a welder if you want.
Oh my god.
I was gonna say my brother also has access to a lot of different welding tools because that's what he does for fun. But
Cool. Great.
Wait, just he welds for fun, like, doesn't have a like material
Sometimes
reason to be welding, or
so he was a resident artist at the Steel Yard in Providence for a while, which is like specifically metalwork. But sometimes he's just bored and he likes to stick two pieces of metal together with hot fire because it's a thing to do.
If I had access
I mean,
to it,
I love
would
that
be
for
great.
him.
yeah,
Yeah.
and to be clear, my incredulity there was not criticism. It was, is this person as cool as it sounds like you just made them out to be?
Oh,
Yeah.
so my brother is 10 times cooler than I will ever be. He's my little brother, and he's always been like, anytime someone asks me the question, like, who do you look up to, or like, who is someone like that you consider to be like a personal hero, I'm always like, it's my brother, because he has zero anxiety. And I just genuinely wonder what that's like. And he's that kind of person who's like, this seems like a cool thing to do, and he just does it and like doesn't think about it. And I'm like, what's that like?
What is that life? What is that? Jesus Christ.
Like he's just a real cool dude, and I'm a little bit jealous. It's fine. It's fine.
I know people who have very diverse kinds of anxiety, but I don't think I know anyone who doesn't have anxiety.
Correct.
To be fair, he does have like a different kind of anxiety, but it's not one that impacts his day-to-day life or like his ability to interact with strangers. And like, you know, he sleeps fine at night.
Yeah.
Just like,
My friends,
what is
family,
that?
and acquaintances are sort of split between people with social anxiety specifically and people with just ambient something is about to go wrong anxiety.
Okay, but what if you have both?
But no anxiety is not an option.
Ran out of cake says ADHD without anxiety. I could never. And I'm like, that perfectly sums up my response to this. But
Yeah.
what about?
Right?
Oh.
Like, of the two of us, he's the neurotypical sibling. But he's also like, I don't know, he's like chill about it. I don't know. But
So now we have a new
Neurotypical, but it's
category. Neurotypical, neurodiverse, neurochill.
yes.
Right in the middle.
Neurochill.
Neurochill feels like a better term than ally.
Neurochill,
Yeah.
I think, sounds like a filter that could be applied to neurodivergency and neurotypicality.
Mm.
Yeah.
You can be neurochill about your neurotype no matter what it is.
Is that true?
I can't wait to inform him that he's neurochill.
I love weird stuff like that too, because you can present it to anybody without zero context and see their reaction first.
Yeah, that's true.
But also, neurochill implies the not mutual.
Oh no, are you frozen?
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Oh no. Oh no.
We're fine. Fine. Keep going.
Mutually incompatible.
Did,
Okay, I think you guys are starting to come back.
was anyone there for that?
Are we coming back, or are you coming back? Or
We
They
missed
said
everything.
they just said neurochill implies the existence of neurohot, and it broke the internet.
Twitch actually said, unfortunately, this is not allowed. This is forbidden information. We can't
What
let
they don't want you to know.
That is the first time the stream itself made the face.
Yeah. Oh, good.
it's like the Matrix. Get onto us, quick.
Speaking of neurohot, it's not even a good segue. Would you date someone who worked in the death industry, like a mortician or a coroner? Yes, I would. I feel like that's pretty much implied by my general being as a person.
Like, I don't.
I imagine that this.
Why not? Like, there's so many other professions out there that I would be like, we might have like some moral dysregulation between our relationship types, and like a mortician or somebody else who works like anything to do with the death industry. It just like is so far down the list on that kind of train of thought.
I wouldn't, as a matter of policy, not. At the same time, I think it's nice in a relationship to be able to take interest in one's partner's work. And I'm not sure I would be able to consistently do that with someone whose work involves, preparing dead bodies.
I absolutely cannot relate.
I wouldn't refuse to date them outright, but I would I would feel like a bad partner if I at least half of the time were squicked out when they talked about what they did during the day.
Like truly, there would be, especially if it were not just a mortician, but like a coroner, where they're dealing with trying to figure out cause of death and that kind of thing. That would be a point where there would be multiple times a week, every week, where I'd be like, I need you to stop.
So
and just omit some things and come back around to the rest of the story.
I have a cousin who, for a short period of time, was a coroner's assistant, and nobody in my family would talk to him about work, because all of them were absolutely just like, no, I do not want to know. This is uncomfortable. And I was the only person who would be like, please tell me more. Like, I am so fascinated by everything going on here. So not an issue for me.
More of an issue than I thought, I guess. It just didn't occur to me. I was like, yeah, whatever. But yeah, there would be multiple times a week where I'd be like, you have to omit something.
Yeah.
I mean, currently my partner is in political advertising, and while that is sometimes boring, the worst that I have to do is pretend not to be bored, as opposed to pretend not to be freaking out.
Yeah.
That's fair.
Yeah.
That's fair. Yeah. I don't know. I don't get squicked by that kind of stuff.
I have to pretend not to be despairing over the state of the nonprofit industry.
Yeah, that sounds tough, but not insurmountable.
Yeah.
Yeah, that I think about the ways in which my partner has lost faith in grant giving organizations as a result of where I worked for so long every day. It's fine. We all learn things.
The idea of coming into a relationship having an existing faith in grant giving organizations feels surprising.
We were 24 whole years old.
Yeah, by 24, I hadn't developed an opinion on the Mellon Foundation.
I can name them now. I don't work there anymore. I keep forgetting.
I was like, oh shit, as I was saying it, but then I was like, we can just pretend that I wasn't specifically citing the one you worked at. I was just pulling one out of my ass.
For what it's worth, I assumed it was a generic example in that context.
Absolutely no one pulls the Mellon Foundation is just out of their ass. It's not one of the organizations that's like super, super well known.
I'm gonna be honest, I don't know the names of that many grant giving organizations. I know places where I've applied for grants, and I know places where my friends have worked.
Hey, speaking of nonprofits, by the way, did you know that we as TOCA are trying to organize as a nonprofit? And I just saw that Nightbot dropped the lovely link to our Patreon. So if you want to have faith in organizations that are nonprofits, because we're going to be a 501c5, so don't even worry about it. That's for labor organizations. You can go and support us at Patreon. Is it patreon.com/TOCA?
/TOCA, yeah.
Thank you. Please do that, because that's going to help helps cover the cost of running the streams, that helps cover just our general operating costs, that helps cover essentially the paperwork we're going to have to file in order to become a nonprofit, because it's not cheap to do. And we are going to have to talk to real lawyers soon. So please, if you can, please give a little bit. Please don't give more than you can afford. And I cannot emphasize that enough.
Am I slightly excited to talk a bunch?
Our tiers contain guidelines on what is a reasonable amount to contribute based on your position economically in your area, and contains links to the MIT Living Wage Calculator, which will help you determine like where you stand relative to the cost of living, which, apart from being a good way to figure out how much you can afford to give to a stream or to an organization, also just a good thing to know in general, because a lot of people don't know how close to or below the poverty line they are.
Yeah.
I was going to say, I've never done that math. That sounds mad useful.
It really is. And it's a little bit upsetting.
A lot of it. It's a lot of it upsetting. In less existential dread type questions, who is the first forensic dentist in American history? Was it Ben Franklin, Paul Revere, Florence Nightingale, or Thomas Jefferson?
It's got to be Florence Nightingale, right?
My guess is Paul Revere, because silversmith.
Yeah, actually, I take it back about Florence Nightingale. I feel like it must have been earlier than that, and she worked during the Civil War.
I'm going to say
the options again?
Be a contrarian.
Who are you saying?
I'm saying Ben Franklin to be a contrarian.
Okay.
I mean, Ben Franklin did all kinds of weird science shit.
Exactly.
I wouldn't put it past him to like check out dead people teeth. That feels right.
Ben Franklin, yeah. But
so the Franklin people are incorrect. It was in fact Paul Revere, who identified Major General Joseph Warren's remains by the dental prosthetics that he had provided him.
How about that?
Thank you for this work back.
Dog shadow. Dog shadow.
A little itchy.
Maxine, dog shadow. Come here. Come here. Can you be away from the light? I love you so much. Come
Dog
here.
shadow. Dog shadow.
Right, come all the way.
Real dog. Real dog. 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 Dog.
Hi. Oh, big stretch. Good job.
Goodest boy.
Hi.
Now, do we want to continue on the morbid curiosity bent, or do we want to switch over to the movie questions that we haven't done before?
We can switch over to the movie questions, but I would also love to just take a moment to celebrate the fact that Astrid just hit 500,000 followers.
Oh yeah, I did.
Oh, yeah.
Congratulations.
Thanks, guys.
Hell yeah.
Excited. Feeling very #blessed.
If you don't already follow Odd Pride on TikTok, absolutely do. He makes amazing content.
Please
It's
do.
like me, but better and consistent.
Like you.
So sorry that the only way we
Like
know
you,
how to
but scared of
compliment
politics. Like you, but dinosaurs.
Okay, yeah, that's fair. I am never going to make a TikTok about dinosaurs.
Okay, never say never one.
I was just gonna say now, anytime you ask, what other content should I post about? Dinosaurs.
Dinosaurs.
I have made a mistake.
You have
You know, it can be like any
put
bird.
it out into
so-
the universe, and now we're going to be annoying.
You can talk about crows. Like, you do this.
Personally, I think that talking about cryptids and more so the fascination that people have with them would be an interesting topic. But
I mean, if I'm going to talk about cryptids, I'm definitely going to talk about the being seen thing that Cecilia and I talked about a while ago.
I believe you that we had the conversation. Do I remember what that conversation was? Absolutely not.
Absolutely not.
I wrote a Tumblr post that said, hey, I don't know who needs to hear this, but wanting to feel seen is about the least cryptid thing a person can want.
Oh, I do remember this because I was here for some of that. Yeah. Yeah. Accurate. Anyway, so for those of you who haven't played the movie game before, it's you take two descriptions of two different movies and you smash them together to make one really long, confusing movie name. So, for example, the Dream Master terrorizes sleeping teenagers and makes them scream "Stella" in their sleep would be A Nightmare on Elm Street car named Desire. Because.
So the segue between the titles is always some kind of pun.
So it's basically like they find a way to like mesh the titles.
Okay.
Yeah. So here we go. Japanese school children are dropped on an island and forced to Hunger Games each other for the amusement of the sadistic Queen of Hearts.
Battle Royale in Wonderland.
Yes.
Damn.
This is my favorite card because these are two of my favorite pieces of media.
A fun fact about me is that I don't watch movies. Not by policy, but because I don't. So I'm not going to be very good at this.
A lot of these, I haven't actually seen the movie, and sometimes you can just get them from context clues and like working backwards if you can figure one out.
I've never seen Battle Royale, literally the Hunger Games reference. I know Battle Royale principally from people accusing Suzanne Collins of ripping off Battle Royale.
I will force all of you to watch Battle Royale. I love it so much.
I worked at a movie place for 2 years in college to try to pay the bills. So like I got a little bit of movie knowledge, but like a lot of it's just gone because out of sight, out of mind.
And also, it's just fun to make fun of the really bad ways they mash them up sometimes.
No, sometimes it's absolutely horrible. All right, here we go. Voracious circus freaks descend from the stars and harvest humans with ludicrous speed to replenish their Schwartz. I can't.
Oh my God! Something Spaceballs.
Yeah, Killer Clowns from Outer Spaceballs.
Yes.
Okay. I never would have gotten the first part.
Yeah, like I've never seen Killer Clowns from Outer Space, but like.
You can work backwards.
Yeah, the concepts were there, and I know that movie exists.
Okay. Sentient supermarket food is terrified to learn that the humans intend to murderously masticate them unless patriotic puppets pound a North Korean dictator into submission.
Attack of the Killer Tomatoes something?
No.
No?
How is it not Attack of the Killer
VeggieTales?
So the hint for the first one, the hint for the first movie is that the alternate title would be Hot Dog Fiesta.
What?
I got nothing.
It's Sausage Party.
Oh.
Second half.
Sentient supermarket food is terrified to learn that the humans intend to murderously masticate them unless patriotic puppets pound a North Korean dictator into submission.
Oh, puppets, not puppies.
That doesn't help you at all.
I can't remember the name of the first one that we already arrived at. It's Team America World Police.
Okay, so
Sausage Party America.
Yeah.
Sausage Party Team America World Police.
Oh my God.
I thought it was puppies. That's an Air Bud movie that we haven't seen yet.
I was like, what Paw Patrol movie went to North Korea?
Yeah.
That's a bold narrative decision.
Right? Oh no. Anastasia Steele falls for a BDSM-obsessed millionaire whose real kink is stealing a single baby from a set of quintuplets.
So the first one is 50 Shades of Grey. What is that second
What
movie?
is the second one?
There's a movie about kidnapping a quintuplet?
Full shot
Yeah.
in the dark. 50 Shades of Grey's Anatomy.
What's that?
It was a
No.
long
It's
show. That might have
like a
happened
movie,
somewhere.
right?
No, but I do
That's
have
right.
the TV.
Movies
I
are
have
not
the
TV.
movie TV game if we want to switch to something that would have that.
I
Mm.
appreciate the assertion that like it's been on for 16 seasons, so probably it happened at some point, right?
Right.
There's
Right.
gotta be a kidnapped quintuplet on Grey's Anatomy. That's
There
such
has
a Grey's Anatomy plotline.
It
Yeah.
has to be, right?
I stand by this.
I don't recall ever seeing a movie with quintuplets, like lots of twins.
The hint for the second one is Cage Cohen's, which is actually a pretty good hint, but
Not for me. That means zero.
well, because it's referencing the actor and the directors that are
We had
responsible.
Great Expectations.
There's definitely no kidnapped quintuplets in that.
I mean, I was hoping I might randomly hit on the title of a Coen Brothers movie.
No, but if you can think of a Coen Brothers movie that Nicolas Cage is in,
I can only think of Oh Brother, Where Art Thou?
no. I don't know. Yes. Okay. Teleography got it. It's 50 Shades of Grazing Arizona.
Never heard of that movie.
I've
never
never
heard
heard
of
that
that
movie.
I've
Also-
heard of Raising Arizona, but I've never seen it. I
Oh,
just know the title.
Raising Arizona, not Raising Arizona.
Yeah, 50 Shades of
Raising
Grey.
Arizona, but
I hate
The raise.
it's okay. You can be mad about it.
A potential pivot topic has occurred to me.
what.
Okay.
Rather than talking about media about which there may be fandoms, we should talk about fandoms because that is a common interest between Astrid and Cecilia.
You're so right. Yeah.
You want to talk about fandoms?
Oh God.
We were just talking earlier about how I had like a long-standing adolescent special interest in fandom itself rather than a fandom.
See, this is as
Because I like religions that don't know that they're religions. I feel similarly about lesbian women's soccer supporters.
I love that sentence so much because I get it. And okay. Continue.
I'm trying to parse that sentence.
this is there's a whole so there, as someone who is unfortunately now some kind of Snape wife scholar,
A snoller, if you will.
yes, a snoller, if you will, which I absolutely fucking will. Thank you, Astrid. But the whole concept of like these like modern fiction based religions, the ones that actually get codified, are
Ones that actually do know that they're religions.
that are aware that they're religions, and like the ways in which they manifest and how predictable it is within fandom, like what branch will go off and just go absolutely just lose their minds. But there are so many other like little branches off of that and little pit stops that people make where it's still definitely a religion, but they haven't figured it out. And they are perfectly fine with just being like, no, I just have a very extreme and intense belief system. And if you don't conform to my particular extreme, intense belief system, I will socially isolate you and call upon my other friends who believe in this particular belief system to socially isolate you. And it's like a very high control social group. It's a little cult-like. It's a little religion-like. It's fascinating.
I do want to say that apart from those, there are also like individuals and groups of people for whom like a particular piece of fandom media or media of which there is a fandom is just like the fundamental guiding text that they use to make decisions about the world. And they're not necessarily zealots about it, but they definitely have a religious relationship to that text.
Do you want to talk about House MD as we
Fuck
talked
you.
about it last night?
Wow.
So I am having a religious deconstruction experience rewatching House as an adult.
It's like the
Good
thing
for
is,
you.
the explanation, the initial the initial portion of this is wild, and it's a crazy sentence to say. The actual like deconstruction part is unfortunately profound, because it's coming from season 4, episode 3 of
That
House.
is precisely correct. Yeah, the episode 97 seconds. I'm going to spoil the whole episode, by the way. There are three major plot
like a
lines.
15-year-old show.
There are three major plot lines in this episode that are relevant to the point I want to make. The first is that Foreman, for some reason, my brain would not give me a name other than Wilson for a couple seconds. Foreman, having started a job at a new hospital, gets a case that was very similar to a case where he lost a patient by irradiating that patient for a rare cancer rather than treating that patient for a staph infection. Foreman, like the case is identical essentially, and Foreman thinks it's the cancer again and wants to irradiate the patient. And the dean of medicine at his new hospital says, "No, you can't do that. That's obviously against policy." And also, like, I've seen this before. Doctors see a case that's similar to a case where they lost the patient, and they think that, like, if I save them this time, I'll be able, like, that vindicates me. So Foreman, by the end of the episode, Foreman has, in the middle of the night, taken that patient for radiation treatment, and just like in complete defiance of hospital rules, saves the patient's life, and is then fired for being wildly reckless with the patient's life. Second plot line that I want to talk about is House has a clinic patient who was hit by a car and then stuck a knife in an electrical outlet, because that patient wanted to have another near-death experience, because the 97 seconds while he was technically dead, according to the paramedics, when he was hit by the car, were the best 97 seconds of his life. After a mildly theological argument with Wilson, where House tries to convince a patient that he shouldn't make decisions based on the assumption of an afterlife because there isn't an afterlife, Wilson tells House, you don't know that, you haven't checked, which was not a good thing to say while House was talking to somebody who had checked. But House checks with the same knife in an electrical outlet. He pages one of his fellows and then sticks the knife in the electrical outlet, and then the fellow comes and saves him. And then the following day, having just gotten out of the hospital bed because he stopped his own heart, House figures out that the reason they just lost the plot, the reason they lost the patient was because the first diagnosis they had come up with was right, but 13 had put the pills in a place where the dog could get them, so the dog ate the pills instead of the patient. So the patient was never treated for the thing he had, and the dog was allergic to the pills, so the dog also died. And House gives 13 a lecture about how reckless and irresponsible it was not to be paying attention to where the pills were and making sure that the patient really did take them. And she says, "Can you just skip the lecture and fire me already?" And House says, "If I were going to fire you, you wouldn't be getting the lecture. I know you're never going to make that mistake again." And I started crying. And I couldn't stop crying for about 10 minutes. Most of the time it was just sobbing. And then when I had enough breath to say something, saying, "Why am I crying?" After some time thinking about it, I had a thought that felt right, but then I tried to say it out loud and just sobbed harder. So instead I wrote it down. And the thought was, the moral of this episode is trauma is the same thing as learning.
Stories, man.
So House was a very formative show for me as a teenager.
Yeah.
And that is definitely something that that was kicking around in there. I mean, probably still is, because just noticing that I have this pathological belief isn't the same thing as not having it anymore. But Like, there's definitely a lot of cases where I put myself through shit that I did not need to put myself through, that I am not better off for having been through, because my belief on the subject was, well, if I go through this, I will come out with a better understanding of like how the world works. I will have learned, and enduring this pain is how learning works.
In a lot of ways, that's not different from when people talk about like, well, if the child touches something hot, they'll learn not to do it again. Like, you've still burned yourself. That's still trauma. And yeah, you've learned not to do it again, but you did something you could have avoided.
Yeah, and I mean,
I have been told, in my capacity as someone who takes care of children, that it is, in most like non like life-threatening cases, it is better to let children make mistakes, because it's better to give them a specific fear of that specific outcome that they now know is possible, than to give them sort of a general ambient anxiety that like, you need to be careful.
you need permission for everything that you want to do.
It's less about that and more about like you have to let kids explore the world around them in the way they're going to explore it, and there's very little you can do to stop that. But you have the ability to convey danger. Part of it comes from this very old school idea of parenting where there is no way to warn about danger or speak to children because they're basically not people yet. Whereas like you can tell like a 1.5-year-old do not touch when it comes to like the outlet, and they understand do not touch, and you can actually communicate that to them without like screaming and giving them anxiety about other stuff. So there's a sliding scale of stuff they have to figure out on their own and stuff you can't actually communicate to them.
Yeah, and like I think that it's also worth saying that like there is a difference between, there are ways you can learn through acquisition of appropriate fear, and all of your traumatic experiences are lessons, and you should be listening to the way your brain is telling you to handle things based on all of your trauma.
Yeah. Yeah.
So my weird experience with House, in the middle of the show happening, I know left field, but I think you all will enjoy this. Like during House, that's when I was like also really into watching a lot of those like competition shows, like the Top Model and the Project Runway and all that stuff. I was then diagnosed with sleep apnea and started using the CPAP, and I lost interest in all of them. What the heck does that mean?
Your subconscious is craving something.
Yeah, like sleep deprived me loves those kinds of shows, but like well rested me is like, you know what? There's anime and all kinds of other stuff that has like lots more dogs.
Like well rested,
I'm gonna go do that now.
Well rested, capable of concentrating long enough to like understand the plot of things, and sleep apnea is just like, I would like to watch the next episode of Top Model, please.
Turn brain off. Sleep while eyes open.
You very much need the full recap of the show right after every commercial break.
Yes, I know that was something that like drove me the craziest too. Like it's great to listen to like in the background, because like sometimes I get tired of listening to music, so I'll listen to TV. Which like again, right now I am again on like my millionth watch through of Community, just because I know that I can listen to it and not miss anything because it's so funny.
That's me with Boy Meets World. That's my like go-to background. I would do it with Buffy because I can quite literally quote every Buffy episode from start to finish verbatim, but I like it too much, so it doesn't matter that I know what's happening and I can like walk away and come back and not lose the plot. Like I enjoy it too much and I will not focus on my work if it's on. It's just a problem. Whereas Boy Meets World, like I own the box set and it's fine. It's background noise. It's great. But
my safe thing to watch in the background, I actually fall asleep to these like a greater percentage than maybe I should admit of the time, is the work of a YouTube channel called Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong. Have you guys ever heard of this YouTube channel?
No,
No,
please.
it's so
Everything,
great.
like, get the sense that I would love it.
It's this like extremely like pleasant voiced and gentle seeming fellow named Steve who sometimes has like sideburns without a beard, which is also fun. Just a gentle seeming vaguely who are the guys in Pennsylvania with the beards?
The Mennonites?
Yeah, those guys.
The Amish and the Mennonites?
Anyway, he like reviews dinosaur toys. He breaks down like all of the scientific literature on everything that is known about the anatomy of this animal and talks about exactly which parts are inaccurate and why, and then uses it as a framing device to tell the story of the history of humanity's relationship to like reconstructing this animal and when it was discovered and who discovered it and why we know as much as we know about it. And I think he is the only good online content creator.
Really like you pushed
like
through that because they all wanted to stop and talk about you describing Mennonites as the dudes with the beards.
Yeah, also, like, I don't know what Mennonites were called, but I feel like that's secondary to my love of Steve from Your Dinosaurs Are Wrong.
Your dinosaurs. See, I feel like a little bit cheated. How am I only learning about this now? Like, have they been around for a while? You know what? I'm just
Yeah, like a decade. He's got an hour-long video about Iguanodon.
I feel like I'm losing my mind. I know I'm going to love this.
Do you know if they talk about the Utahraptor ever? Because that's my favorite.
There's Velociraptor, and then there's the one that the Jurassic Park Velociraptors are based on that is not Velociraptor. Deinonychus. There's a Velociraptor episode and a Deinonychus episode.
Okay.
Maybe he does requests on his Patreon.
I'll have to check that. Utahraptors are just the stupidest looking thing I've ever seen in my life, and I love them. They don't make sense.
Oh, that sounds like content for you.
Yeah, I don't remember Utahraptor being extra weird looking.
It's a ratios issue where like they shouldn't. They're
head too big.
Oh yeah, head too big.
Yeah.
You're so
Head
right.
too big.
Yeah.
Head way too big.
I am
He's
sorry
kind of fun though.
to the audience tonight that I am not at my usual computer and I don't have like the ability to pull up a screen share because
I will describe this to them. It's a raptor, but head too big. That's
Also,
it.
like very big in general.
Yeah, so you're right. The ratios
It's
are
like
wrong.
like the tail is so goddamn long, but like skinny and birdy.
Yeah.
And it's just like its arms are fucking stupid little flip flaps, but like chicken flip flaps, not like regular bird flip flaps.
You're right. I had never noticed that he had too big.
He had too
But now I know.
And
for,
he-
I'll
anybody
later
who,
on see
And the
it.
arm too small.
You're so right.
for anybody who isn't familiar, Astrid has a series on his account called Cursed and Stupid Looking Animals.
Yeah. From Earth's history. They're all extinct.
Well, I'm glad I could bring this to your attention because
I'm about
it's
to do
worth
an
your
episode
time.
on heteromorph ammonites, which is worth a Google if you've never seen a heteromorph ammonite.
Can I spell that though? That is.
Like break it down to its parts, heteromorph,
Got it.
and those parts are spelled how you think they should be.
Oh no.
This feels like something that like this feels like a Jinji thing. This feels like
Yeah.
something like
Yeah, why he look like that?
why he have fire like that? Why he? Oh no!
Why he not curled all
They
the way
also
up?
go by another name. Antlerentia was a diverse or
Is
suborder
it?
of ammonite, mostly closely related to ammonites of the order of like
Oh
Procentrium.
no!
Okay, so heteromorph is a suborder, not just like a word for a kind of disease that ammonites get.
Yeah, they were supposed to look like this. I mean,
These
supposedly
regular-
it's a loaded term in paleontology, but like,
Yeah, It says these irregularly coiled
Yeah, the ones at the bottom are
Ammonites.
heteromorph ammonites.
are called heteroammonites, in contrast to regularly coiled ammonites, which are called homomorph ammonites. And forgive me for butchering every word coming out of my mouth tonight, because that's what it is.
Same shape and different shape.
Equal parts cool, but also like ominous and terrifying.
Oh, I have found a graphic of many, but they are all labeled in Japanese. And
Yeah, I see that.
what is the one that's shaped like an oboe? Micah? What's the one that's what is it?
There is actually one that is absolutely an oboe.
I know it's an oboe. That's why I said it was an oboe.
But an oboe's just a stick.
No, you got a handle. He got a handle for some reason. I carried him around, and he's shaped like this, and I could hold him and play him like an oboe. Oh, why he shaped like that? I don't understand.
It is 9 o'clock, and heteromorph ammonites feels like a lovely note to go out on. Thank you all for coming tonight. I've had a great time. This was a great stream. Ending the broadcast now. Good night.
Good night.